Kia ora, here's question 1E from the 2013 Algebra paper. It's an excellence question, so I'm just going to do this one question in this video. Okay, so that's a little bit small to read. What we're asked to do here is to figure out expressions for the roots of this equation. And the expressions are going to be in terms of m and n. So like nearly all of the excellence questions we've seen, we know that this is going to turn out to be a quadratic. So it's what I call a disguised quadratic question. We're going to start by cross multiplying. Put your invisible brackets in first, so make them visible. So we start by doing this. And basically we proceed from here as if the m and n were numbers that we knew. Okay, so in other words we treat them as constants. So it's going to look like this. Left hand side will be x squared minus mx plus nx minus mn. And that equals 2 times x squared plus mx minus nx minus mn. Alright, now all we have to do on the next page is collect up like terms and have 0 on one side of the equation. Right, I'll just write that out what we've got so far. So on the left hand side we've got this. And I'm going to expand the right hand side out now. So I've got 2x squared plus 2mx minus 2nx minus 2mn. I'm going to subtract this left hand side from both sides. I'm going to have 0 equals. I've chosen to do it that way because this one's an x squared and this is a 2x squared. It doesn't really matter, but my brain works better with fewer negative numbers. So off we go, we get x squared. I'm just going to write everything down and do the subtraction really slowly because this is where a lot of students make silly little mistakes. So we're going to add on mx, we're going to subtract off nx, and we're going to add mn. Right, so that's adding that on, subtracting that, and adding that. Now we collect up like terms, and we get 0 equals x squared plus, let's have a look, 2mx here, and another one, 3mx, minus 2nx, minus another nx, minus 3nx. And here I've got minus 2mn plus 2mn, which leaves me with minus mn. Right, now what we want to do with this is use the quadratic formula. So to do that we have to get our a, b and c. So we want to clean it up a bit more. We're going to get 0 equals x squared plus 3m minus 3n minus mn. I'm doing this with every single step in it. Some of you will have probably skipped out this line and gone straight to this. X squared plus 3 times m minus n. Oh, I've lost an x up there too before someone sends me an email. There we go. There's the x. Let's come back. There. So identifying now my a, b and c. I'm going to get a equals 1, b equals 3 times m minus n, and c equals negative mn. So now we're good to go. The next step is using the quadratic formula to solve the equation. Right, so x is equal to negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Yes, you get that on your formula sheet. If you need it, you haven't done enough practice at excellence questions. So a equals 1, b equals 3 times m minus n. Whoops, what's happened there? And c equals negative mn. So x is now going to be negative 3 times m minus n plus the messy bit, b squared. I'm sorry about the clicking of the stylus. I noticed it when I was playing one of the videos back a little bit. If it's a real problem, if someone could let me know, that would be great. So plus 4mn, right? This is a negative, this is a positive, and it's minus here. So we're going to have to do some work on that discriminant term. Divided by 2a, so divided by 2. Right, so what's x? Well, x is equal to 3n minus 3m plus, no, I've lost my plus or minus in there too, so plus or minus this thing here. Right, just be careful with squaring all of that. So this is going to be 9 times m minus n squared plus 4mn over 2. We'll just leave it like that for now. So x is equal to 3n minus 3m plus or minus 9m squared minus 2mn. Right, and again, those of you who are very confident can probably do the expanding and multiplying through by 9 in one go. But I know some people watching this will need to go slowly with these steps. So we're up to there. We've got a couple more lines to go. Right, so we're just going to do this expansion next and then collect up like terms. So x is equal to 3n minus 3m plus or minus the square root of 9m squared minus 14mn plus 9n squared. I think I've got everything in there, divided by 2. Okay, so that's the first part done. We have found, and what have we found? We've found an expression for the roots of the equation. Right, so x is equal to that. That's all we need to write there. You could split it out and write that x is equal to 3n minus 3m plus the square root of da 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 over 2, or x is equal to 3n minus 3m minus 9m squared minus 14mn plus 9n squared over 2. But you don't need to, right? This is a perfectly efficient way to write the solutions. The next thing is that we're asked to give an inequality so that the equation has two distinct roots. Now the good news is that we have done nearly all the work for this. So for two distinct roots, this is a discriminant problem, we need b squared minus 4ac strictly greater than 0, right? Because that's what's going to give us two crossing points here, right? Two places where the value of the quadratic is 0. So we've just got to have this, strictly greater than 0. Right, so I'm going to do a new slide just for that last line. Right, so b squared minus 4ac strictly greater than 0, which means that 9m squared minus 14mn plus 9m squared must be strictly greater than 0. Okay, so that's all you need to get an excellence code on that question. Thanks for watching. There'll be some more videos coming tomorrow.